These are 8 best things to eat in Disneyland.
Starting with number 1.
Number 1, the loaded Dole Whips located at the Tropical Hideaway. These are amazing Dole Whip ice creams that you will fall in love with. They have the chili mango whip, which I literally dream about. It's pineapple mango Dole Whip, chili lime seasoning. It's salty, sweet, spicy. It's everything delicious. And they have also like things like strawberry Dole Whip that has shortcake pieces. It's heaven.
It's not necessarily the most appealing visually.
It's not.
You're ever going to see, but I promise you, give it a chance. You're going to say to yourself, you know what? I don't know if I want to try that by looking at it, but if you do give it, maybe split it with somebody to first try it to see if you actually do like it. That's what we did. And we found out that you like it a lot. I like it an okay amount.
I think it's a 10, and I think it's an 11 based on also next to being right next to the Jungle Cruise.
If you can get a table as you see the Jungle Cruise boats walking by you while you're eating your Dole Whip, listening to the parrots kind of sing and talk through the Jungle Cruise, that's kind of like the most epic place to sit there and enjoy a snack.
The rating goes up.
Definitely.
After you eat that there. You have the ambiance, the setting. It's amazing.
All right, next up on my list, the chimichanga is definitely one of my favorite breakfast foods in all of Disneyland. You go outside of Big Thunder Mountain. There's a stand. They serve a breakfast chimichanga. Now, I don't know if you could eat 2 of them. So you look at them, you're like, oh, that's kind of small, but it's definitely filling a breakfast snack meal kind of thing. And you sit there, you can watch the boat go by, the riverboat, as it gets ready to go, and you just enjoy your chimichanga.
Just say it. It's chimichanga. That's how we say it over here.
That's true.
And it is a fried burrito, basically. It's so good. It's something that I crave for breakfast and lunch. I think if on a perfect day, I'd have it the lunch one, because the one I'm going to mention after this is something that I like to do for breakfast in Disneyland.
I discovered the chimichanga by accident. I was hungry. You guys were waiting in line for Haunted Mansion. I was starving, and I just ran to the closest thing that I found, and it happened to be this little cart. It served breakfast chimichangas. I actually wanted a lunch one, but it wasn't lunchtime yet, so I said, you know what? Give me one of those. And I ate it, and I was like, wow, this is great. And I've never heard anybody talk about the breakfast one before.
Yeah.
And I thought it was so good that I want to share it with everybody listening to this.
Chimichanga, or like we like to call them, hot and steamies.
Hot and steamies, yeah. Well, let's not argue over what you call it, chimichanga or changa. Tomato, right?
Yeah, right.
Let's just rename it hot and steamy.
Hot and steamies, you bite in, it's crispy, and then the steam pours out, and it's just it's a piece of heaven.
Hot and steamy, baby.
That's right. The next one, we got to talk about the Disneyland beignets. Now, this is something I actually prefer to have for breakfast with a nice hot coffee in Disneyland. I like to set the scene. Okay, let me set the scene for you.
Let's set it.
Okay, you're in Disneyland. It's a beautiful morning out in California, of course, and you are actually transported now to New Orleans Square. You've got the Disneyland Railroad right behind you, and you have these pillow, puffy, sugary, powdered goodness of these Mickey-shaped beignets. And it's just a perfect morning.
You know what you can do, too? You can take your beignets and your coffee and ride the railroad around.
That's cheating, but I love it.
You know, if there's a little secret I can give you is, you know, everybody likes to sit in that area right outside the beignet window. And during busy times, it can get quite crowded. Go up, especially if you go early in the morning when everybody's racing to get on Rise. Get up on that little balcony, listen to the Morse code of the Disney World Railroad, eat some beignets, drink your coffee, and then when the train comes, hop on and go for a ride with your beignets and coffee. There's not too many attractions that you can sneak stuff on legally.
This is legit.
This is legit. They let you do it. It's okay. Not frowned upon.
It's my absolute favorite in the morning. That whole area in the morning is so beautiful. It's not crowded, so you really get to see everything, and you're not fighting crowds, and you just get to enjoy this awesome breakfast. This is at the Mint Julep bar right now, where it's currently being refurbished. I like to go here for beignets, and also this is not necessarily a snack, but I like to hit there later for our mint julep.
Definitely. Mint juleps is definitely something you have to have if you're in Disneyland. Yeah. All right, next one on the list is the Bread Bowl at New Orleans Square, or they have them in California Adventure too. And if you go over to California Adventure, you can actually see where they make the bread for the bread bowl. It's a sourdough bread bowl.
So good.
And it's very good. And this is one of those meals that's something that's inexpensive for how far it stretches to feed people.
The dollar goes a long way, because
I was trying to say.
You've got the bread, you've got the delicious sourdough, and then what I like to do is I like to get it filled with mac and cheese. So it's like carbohydrate overload, but it's calories don't count in Disneyland, so it doesn't matter, but it's so good.
Yeah, you get the bread bowl with whatever filling you want inside of it. They serve the sides of butter in there if you want to grab some of those too. So when you're done with the bread bowl, kind of put some butter on that sourdough bread, and you can go to town with it.
Low calorie for sure.
Listen, you're going to walk a ton. You probably put 17, 20,000 steps on when you're in Disneyland. So you got to get some of those carbs in there to give you fuel to get through that.
The energy. Yeah, for sure. You definitely need all those carbs. So good though. And you're right. They're not, I don't want to know if I really want to announce this too loudly, but it's relatively inexpensive for the amount of food you get.
You know, and as someone who is in the restaurant industry, I kind of like seeing the production line behind the scenes of seeing how they make the bread bowls. And the people in there, as they're making the bread bowls, they're really nice. They'll show you how they're doing it. And there's big glass windows that you can see. It's pretty fun to show the kids, too, how they're made.
Well, speaking of carbohydrates, this next one is something I have to hit up midday. This is pretty much anything from the Jolly Holly Bakery in Disneyland. I particularly love their grilled cheese and tomato soup. So good. The grilled cheese is also like a sourdough bread, and they put a lot of butter, but it's just so delicious. And you dip it in the tomato soup. And then, of course, their Matterhorn macaroons.
Now, this one can get pretty busy, so you may want to check ahead for the line. If you do wait in line, you're going to be waiting for a while. But they also have something that you can do. You can order on the app mobily. And when we were there the last time, the only bad side of that is sometimes you want to order on the app now, and the open window is for an hour from now.
I think it was technical error on your end, but whatever.
So just make sure you can refresh too, or check somebody else's phone, because the times seem to change depending on who's using it.
It's true.
But I would suggest you do the mobile app so you don't have to wait in that line. And if you do go to the mobile app, you can see what they have in the menu. You can kind of sit down, relax, and see what you want to order, and then go up and get it without having to wait in that huge line.
Something to keep in mind. If it's something you really want to try, some of these items at the Jolly Holly Bakery, they do sell out.
Yeah, and the next one for me, this is going to be one that may be a little controversial.
Okay.
Anything from Pim Test Kitchen.
Why is it
because people were saying that it's not that great of food.
Really?
And I was like, you know what? Everything that I got was great. The pretzel was giant, warm, soft. The dessert pretzel, the apple dessert pretzel, was way better than it looked on video.
That was a recommendation from a cast member, and
definitely one of the recommendations from the cast members. And then the Pim French toast was pretty good as well. Everything that we got from the Pim Test Kitchen was very good.
I liked the not so little chicken sandwich. I had to have it. It's really fun to eat. It's huge chicken sandwich on a little bun, which makes it fun. I thought it was delicious.
Again, mobile order is your friend there.
True.
The lines can get long. It's in the Avengers campus in California Adventure, which is a busy spot, and it can get congested. So if you are going to order from there, order on the mobile app. It's going to be your friend. But it's one of those things that's a novelty, but it also tastes good. Sometimes there's these novelty items that Disney has that doesn't taste good. They create it so people take pictures of it and put it on Instagram, but it ultimately doesn't taste that good. Pim Test Kitchen, for me, was a bit of both.
I really liked it, too.
It was flashy for the Instagrams, but it also tasted pretty well.
This next one is something that I can now only get in Disneyland. It's a simple treat, but it's absolutely, without a doubt, non-negotiable now. I absolutely can't get it at Walt Disney World because it's just not the same. And this is the Disneyland churro.
It also seemed like the Disneyland churros were bigger than the Disney World churros.
There's something in that water in Disneyland that makes them a lot different, lighter, fluffier. You don't feel as bad when you eat them. They taste fresh. The cinnamon crumbles on them with the sugar. It just melts in your mouth. They're awesome.
So you see people hold the churros in Disneyland. They're holding the middle, and there's like a foot on each side sticking out of their hands. They just seem way bigger in Disneyland. It's because it's the original. It's the original churro that was from Disneyland that people go there specifically for.
I like them just as is, plain, just a churro. It's just an easy treat. But again, it's just something that they just do so well in Disneyland that now it's ruined me for anywhere else.
Now, the next one on this list is for ambiance. And the food is good. Another one of these places that has really good pictures. It's FLO'S V8 Cafe.
Wait. No, it's not FLO'S. Okay, this was my pick. This is the last one on this list right here. Okay. And I need to clarify one thing. It's not necessarily, so it is. It's a very visual restaurant at night. It's a really cool place. Speaking of Instagram earlier, it's like something that you really love to see. But in California, in Disneyland, I couldn't find a French fry, like a good old fat steak fry. And I was craving it so badly. And when we went to FLO'S, I got the side of steak fries and I was so happy. They're just huge and crispy on the outside and soft in the middle, just like they're supposed to be. And it was just everything I needed. And it was only $4.49 for a decent amount of French fries. So that combined, like, to me, when it's a value like that and it's good, makes it all the better.
Because you're often overpaying for things at Disneyland or California Adventure, and when you find these things that are better than you thought they were for the price point, that always puts a smile on your face. It's like a win-win.
But I definitely need to clarify, and also was having a moment where I really needed a good old-fashioned steak fry, and I couldn't find it. You know, you get any kind of meal, and they bring you these French fries. They're tiny. They're not the best. They're somewhat tasting stale when you order them, but these were fresh and hot and fresh.
Hot and steamy?
Something hot and fresh I got at FLO'S V8 Cafe, and it was awesome. And I just want to point out, as we're wrapping up this video, there are a couple of things I do want to try that we didn't get the chance to.
Can I go back to FLO'S V8 Cafe real quick?
Go ahead.
Would you rather day or night?
Night.
Yeah, night's way better. I mean, it's the same thing, but it just seems so much better to sit there and look at Radiator Springs Racers to your left or right, depending on which way you're facing.
Yeah.
And see the light up of the V8 sign. It's just a very visual, appealing place at night. It looks cool.
Yeah, and out west at night, the temperature drops. It's not humid, so it's a little bit cooler.
I mean, when we were there, the temperature really dropped.
Well, January, February can be a little chilly, but it was nice because you're eating these hot steak fries and really taking in the moment, and it felt really good, and I was in heaven. But these next two things are something that many people have suggested we try. We didn't get a chance to try them only because we literally stuffed ourselves. Like, Disneyland, to me, like, the main attraction is the food.
Especially if you're a Disney World native.
Definitely.
Which we are. We go to Disney World a heck of a lot more than we go to Disneyland.
Yeah.
So when you're in Disneyland, you want to try these things that you don't get the chance to try in Disney World, and there's so many.
There's so many, and I just couldn't. There was no more room to fit these two things, but I definitely want to try the pickled corn dog. This is outside at downtown Disneyland. It's a cart right out to Disneyland. They look big. It's something I love, corn dogs, so I've never had a pickled corn dog. It's just something that I really want to try.
So it's a corn dog. It's a hot dog inside a pickle inside a corn dog.
I mean, I'm thinking salty, and then the pickle is very tangy, but then the outside of the corn dog is kind of sweet. So I think it would be the marriage of the best flavors, and I'm really excited.
Back to our Dole Whip experience, where it doesn't look that great, but it tastes really great.
I don't know. I just need to try it. And then Lamplight Lounge, I've got to try the lobster nachos. This is at California Adventure, and everybody raves about Lamplight Lounge. We haven't had the chance to try it, but I'm definitely going to make sure it's top of our list next time because I got to try it.
All right, well, that's our list of the top 8 things we think you should try on your next trip to Disneyland / California Adventure. What do you think we should try that's not on this list? Name your favorite thing to eat when you go to Disneyland or California Adventure. I want to see it in the comments below. And if you want to check out our podcast, we do that as well. A link to the podcast is in the description of this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.